at all. Nobody. This is not a political campaign in Nigeria. This is not an event that is organized by the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. What you are seeing here is the homecoming of Natasha Akpoti, the senator representing Kogi Central, a woman, a fearless woman who against all odds has refused to be silent, has refused to be intimidated, has decided to shake the political landscape that has remained docile for a very long time, ever since the 2023 presidential election was done and dusted. Of course, the only person that shook the political landscape in Nigeria during the presidential election campaign was Mr. Peter Obi of the Labour Party. But then, Natasha Akpoti, the fearless Kogi-born politician, has decided to step into the arena. Who is Natasha Akpoti? Natasha Hadiza Akpoti Udwanga, born on December 9, 1979 in Ilori, Kwara State, Nigeria, is a distinguished lawyer, entrepreneur, and a politician. She is notably the first elected female senator from Kogi State, representing the Kogi Central Senatorial District since 2023. Natasha was born to a Nigerian father from Kogi State and a Ukrainian mother. She spent her formative years in Hiema, Okehi, Kogi State. Her educational journey began at Christ the King School in Okene and continued at Federal Government College, Idwani, where she completed her secondary education in 1997. Following her father passing in 1998, her family relocated to Abuja. She earned a Bachelor of Law degree from the University of Abuja in 2004 and was called to the Nigerian Bar in 2005. Furthering her studies, she obtained a Master's of Law in Petroleum Law and Policy and a Master of Business Administration in Oil and Gas Management from the University of Dundee, Scotland in 2011 and 2012 respectively. Natasha Akpoti Udwanga began her legal career as a counsel at Brass LNG Limited from 2007 to 2010. In 2015, she founded the Builders Up Impact Investment Program, focusing on supporting local industries, particularly in the steel sector. Her advocacy for the revival of the Ajokuta steel mill brought her national recognition, leading to a presidential award from the Nigerian Society of Engineers in December 2017. Natasha Akpoti Udwanga entered politics in 2018, contesting the Kogi Central Senatorial seat under the Social Democratic Party (SDP) in the 2019 general election. Although unsuccessful, she continued her political pursuits by running as the SDP candidate in the Kogi State gubernatorial election later that year. Of course, she was met with stiff resistance and clash, resulting to death of her supporters. In March 2022, she joined the People's Democratic Party (PDP) and secured the party nomination for the Kogi Central Senatorial District. She faced significant challenges in the course of her electionary process. The governor of Kogi State then, Yaya Bello, had to destroy the road leading to her senatorial district in order to stop her from campaigning. Despite all of these challenges and intimidation, she won the election in 2023, making history as the first female senator from Kogi State. But of course, she needed a court to declare her the winner. In March 2025, Natasha Akpoti Udwanga accused Senate President Godswill Akpabio of sexual harassment. Subsequently, she was suspended from the Senate for 6 months on charges of indiscipline unrelated to her allegations. This suspension has sparked widespread protests and discussions about gender inequality in Nigerian politics. The suspension of Natasha Akpoti was followed by a sponsored recall process in her senatorial district, where Kogi residents were deceived to come for an empowerment program in the guise of recalling Senator Natasha Akpoti. A Nigerian's heavily male-dominated and corruption-ridden political landscape, Natasha Akpoti is refusing to bow to intimidation. Natasha Akpoti has emerged as a defiant force. From her suspension by the Senate and the fraudulent recall process to her triumphant homecoming, despite state suppression, Natasha Akpoti is proving to be a political firebrand whose impact may shape the future of Nigeria. Her bravery and resilience mirrored that of Margaret Thatcher, the former British Prime Minister, who, despite opposition and hostility, reshaped the political order in her country. If Natasha Akpoti continues on this trajectory, she could become a woman leader who will disrupt Nigeria's corrupt political elite and usher in a new era of governance. Yes, we are talking about a political landscape that is notoriously hostile to outsiders, especially women. We are talking about a country governance that has long been controlled by a group of elite politicians, many of whom are deeply entrenched in corruption, nepotism, and the suppression of dissenting voices. We are talking about elections that are frequently marred by vote buying, violence, and manipulation, ensuring that only those who serve the interests of the establishment rise to power. We are talking about a brutal politics in Nigeria where female politicians are often ridiculed, harassed, or outrightly blocked from participating. We are talking about a system when women who dare to speak out are met with aggressive pushback, character assassination, and state-sponsored intimidation. Natasha Akpoti is now at the center of this battle. She's refusing to be silenced despite the enormous pressure against her. Natasha Akpoti can be likened to the proverbial tsetse fly that perched on the scrotum. Yes, she has perched on the scrotum of her intimidators. Rather than retreating into silence, Natasha Akpoti has taken flight to international stage. She appeared on major media platforms like the BBC, the DW, using her voice to expose the realities of political oppression in Nigeria. Her interviews resonated with many Nigerians at home and abroad. The Nigerian ruling class was not ready to let her go unpunished. In a desperate bid to silence her, they initiated a recall process in her constituency. Of course, the recall process was widely perceived as fraudulent, with allegations of political manipulation and coercion of voters. The goal was clear: remove her from office and erase her influence. But the people of Kogi, her home state, were not willing to let that happen. Determined to reconnect with her people, Akpoti announced her homecoming to Kogi State, but the state government, clearly acting on instructions from higher powers, issued an unprecedented ban on all public gatherings. Security operatives were ordered to prevent her from entering the state, an extreme measure that underscored just how much fear she had instilled in the ruling class. This move could have crushed her momentum. In Nigerian politics, when the state mobilizes security forces against an opposition figure, it usually signals the end of their political career. But what happened next shocked the establishment. Despite stress, intimidation, and roadblock, thousands of enthusiastic supporters turned out to welcome her. This defiant superwoman, Natasha Akpoti, that has become a tsetse fly that has perched on the scrotum of her intimidators, flew to the venue with a chopper. According to her, they can block the road, but they cannot block the airways. In a bold voice, she announced to her supporters, "Nobody, absolutely no one, can stop me from coming home." The streets of Kogi State were flooded with people who saw her not just as a politician, but as a symbol of resistance against oppression. This was unprecedented for a woman in Nigerian politics. No female politician in recent history has commanded such grassroots support in defiance of state suppression. Is this the time for revolution? Is revolution lurking around in Nigeria? Nigeria is ripe for a political change. The people are frustrated with rising poverty, economic mismanagement, and a government that prioritizes self-enrichment over national development. Young Nigerians, in particular, are becoming more politically conscious, as seen during the NSAS protests and the last general election in 2023, and a growing demand for accountability from their leaders. Akpoti has already demonstrated that she can inspire a movement. Her ability to defy the political elite, rally mass support, and stand firm in the face of oppression is exactly what Nigeria needs for a revolution to take shape. Natasha Akpoti has shown that she is fearless. Natasha Akpoti has shown that she cannot be intimidated. Natasha Akpoti has shown that she can take on the political elite in this country head on, just like Mr. P2B did in the 2023 general election. I think it's time for Natasha Akpoti to step into the arena and become that woman leader that Nigeria desperately needs. She needs to lead the revolution that Nigeria seeks. This is going to be unprecedented because we have never seen a fearless, indefiable woman politician like her. If Natasha Akpoti is to lead a political revolution in Nigeria, she must take this strategic step. Number one is to build a nationwide movement. Her current influence in Kogi is strong, but she needs to expand her reach across Nigeria, particularly among youth and women. The time is now. People are waiting for her to take that bold step. Another thing she needs to do is to align with like-minded politicians. While she is a strong independent force, forming alliance with a reform-minded leaders will strengthen her impact. For instance, she should align with Mr. P2B, dump the PDP. They did not give her any support while she was facing all manner of intimidation on the floor of the National Assembly. She should align with Mr. P2B. Imagine joining forces with Mr. P2B ahead of the 2027 general election. That is going to be a volcanic eruption. It is going to draw all women in Nigeria into that alliance. Natasha Akpoti should also learn to utilize the social media space. She should make her presence known on social media. Connect on Twitter, connect on Facebook, go to TikTok, connect with the young people. It is time for that revolution that Nigeria seeks. With Natasha Akpoti leading the women pack and Mr. Peter Obi leading the men's pack, no resistance from the ruling party will be able to stop this alliance, will be able to stop this movement. Thank you for watching. I will see you in the next video.
The few videos that circulated and pictures were in Ododo's ward and Yahaya Bello's ward. Most parts of Kogi Central, there was no activity. So what did they do? They went into some rooms and assembled a few of them and started filling in the petitions themselves. That was what they did. And I believe INEC has been notified of this. And this actually is another litmus test on INEC to redeem its image. 250,000, really? 250,000 here in Kogi Central came out in just about how many days? 3. In 2 days? In 2 days, 250,000 people came out to sign petitions for the recall of the most performing senator in Nigeria. Are they for real? From my own personal perspective, what I see INEC doing is aiding and guiding the petitioners on how to perfect their illicit acts. The first time the petition was submitted, they didn't have address, phone numbers, and all of that. So we ran a check on the status of registration of the association, which sponsored my recall, Kogi Central Political Frontier. And the CAC report came negative that association is not registered. So I'm still waiting. I'm wondering why INEC has not yet made a statement to that effect.
Then I will say this, and I'm saying this openly as well. On the 14th day of March, at about 10:30 p.m. On the 14th day of March, at about 10:30 p.m. I got calls that Governor Yahaya Bello was with Akpoti. That night. Now let me say this now. On the 14th of March at 10:30 p.m. Mind you, 2 days before that, which was on the 12th, Akpoti had called Governor Ododo on the phone that he should commence my recall. But Governor Dodo told him it would be impossible. No, hold on. This was what Governor Dodo said on the 12th. Listen. He said, on the 12th of March, Akpoti spoke to Governor Dodo to recall me. But he told him to be impossible because the masses are with her, yes, the people are with her. But Akpoti was not satisfied. He then sent for Yaya Bello. And it was actually Senator Asukwo from Cross River that drove Yaya Bello from Hilton Hotel. I was informed of everything. And when I got to know, hold on, the meetings was in two folds. He told him to commence my recall. And that he was going to fund it. Of course, monies changed hands that night. The second thing he told him was that he should try and kill me. I didn't make this public, but I wrote to the IG of police. And Akpoti told Yaya Bello, I am standing by what I've said. He told him that he should make sure that killing me does not happen in Abuja, it should be done here. So it will seem as if it's the people that killed me here. I didn't make that public, but we did notify the security agencies of that. I called on the media houses. I called on This Day, I called on Punch, I called on a number of that I know. I tried to get them publish the information ahead of time. That look, this is the nature of the meeting. They are going to commence my recall. But of course, the print media, if you don't have evidence, they will not be able to put it out. So they said, Natasha, do you have any evidence that your recall is being planned? I said, I don't have any evidence, but I know that the meeting took place and this was what transpired. But you see, 3 days after, the recall started and they called me, oh, you said it. I said, I did tell you that this was going to happen. But what is it now for us? We saw what happened. They came around, deceived our women that there was an empowerment program going on. They told them to come